tuning in today to Take a Break with Karen. This is something I really enjoy. I get to talk to great people, ask the questions that I want to ask, and learn the things I want to learn about. So this morning, our guest, I'm very proud to have Alan Bennett. Alan, welcome. You can say whatever you want to say, and you have to hurry because I talk a lot.
Well, you can get started and I'll go with
The
it.
main thing I'd like you to tell us about is I know you're really busy and you've done a lot of work on a lot of things, but how did you get started? I mean, are you from this area or did you come here because of your wife's family?
Oh, as far as Naselle,
Oh, yes, Naselle.
that'd be Diane's family. You know, we married in 1985, and so ever since then, we would come in the summer and help with hay and pick blueberries and hang out and not fish. And, you know, we had a boat and we'd fish buoy 10. And so we kind of did the whole, we enjoyed it down here. And being a school teacher, I had the summer off. So.
And where were you teaching at that time?
In Longview.
In Longview.
Yeah, started at Mint Valley, teaching fourth grade.
Fourth grade.
Yeah, it was great. I had when I got out mid-year, finished my college. And so, you know, I had a few months to substitute before I was looking for a full-time job, and it turned out I ended up subbing long-term in third grade at Mint Valley, and then was able to roll right up with those kids and got hired to teach fourth grade. So I knew them all by name the first day of school.
Subbing can work like
that.
that.
It really was. Yeah, it was great. So yeah, I had a great experience in education. Taught most of the time, some years as a principal, some superintendent here in Naselle, but always in education for 32 years.
What years were you a superintendent? Do you remember?
05 to into the 09, 010.
You know.
And then a teaching job came open, and I kind of looked at the whole thing, and
I
let's
thought
just
you
go
said-
back. And that was a simpler life. And so we went back and taught not for very long, and then I ended up getting real back into administration for being a principal at the camp. But
Oh, I wondered about if you'd been at the camp.
yeah, I just kind of did whatever needed to be done for,
Yeah.
you know, I taught talented, gifted in Longview, regular ed, at-risk kids on a year-round calendar in Longview, and then when we moved here, fourth grade, high school at the youth camp, principal at the youth camp, superintendent, you know. So yeah, we kind of did whatever needed to be done at any given time.
When did you resign from the whole system, the Naselle as well as the
That was
camp?
2016, so it's been 5 years.
So you've been quote unquote retired for 5 years.
Yeah, not really a great example of just eating bonbons, watching daytime TV, but
I don't think any of us really do that. We're in our 80s maybe. But
Right.
at the senior lunch, there are all these women, many of whom live alone because they're widows, and they are so busy.
right.
And you take a look at Sonia Cruz as an example. She's going somewhere every day to volunteer. But do you do much volunteering? Because I suspect you're
Well,
running the farm. Are you?
Our church board, you know, I'm on the church board.
Which
and,
church?
At the Naselle Assembly of God
At the-
here in town, and then the Waco Port Commission, I'm a commissioner.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, so that's an elected position, and then, you know, the water company board, I serve on that.
Those are two pretty expensive, important is the word I want, pretty important positions.
Yeah, I don't know how I keep falling into those, but I guess it just happens. So, you know,
People know you're a doer.
I guess, but anyway, you just serve where you needed.
Now you also, do you still renovate houses?
Yeah, our last project, Diane she just thought Sleepy Hollow would be just such a great property to own, and I just fought that tooth and nail. It's like, I do not want to own a motel. That is just not going to happen, especially one that, you know, you barely make a living on, and then if
But
you hire
you
some-
did you buy it?
So we bought it. Well, when we came up with a plan that we could both get our heads around, and
Well,
we
it's
pulled the
pretty
trigger.
darn busy now.
Well, we turned it into a apartment. So there were 7 units and an office in the hotel, which isn't really enough to make a living unless
Right,
you just
right.
kind of do it yourself as a side gig or something. That wasn't going to happen. So we just took 2 units and made a nice roomy 1-bedroom apartment, and they're really. The Wilson brothers did the renovation. They just did a great job. So yeah, it turned out
They're
great.
all rented, aren't they?
Yep. Oh, they were rented before we were done. So
Because we desperately need that.
yeah, it's a necessary thing around here, and it creates affordable housing for the right person. It's great because we include it's all your utilities and everything, and we have passive hot water, solar hot water, so it makes the hot water, and then there's a little coin-op laundry there. So yeah, it's a nice little setup. Lots of parking, of course, because it had been a motel, so
Oh,
you
yeah.
don't have people fighting over that one spot, you know.
Right,
there's
and you
plenty.
have kitty toys in the one on the end, which I pay attention to.
Yeah, right. And that one's kind of nice if somebody, because the deck on that one goes to the east,
Oh.
and so they kind of have that. And then the other units, there's three, and they each have a little privacy wall in between.
Do you mind if I ask you what did they rent it for?
$9.75.
Well, that's a bargain.
It is, yeah. That was the idea.
And it's all brand new.
Yeah, it's like you're just beautiful. Yeah, they're great. All stainless appliances. They're really nice. But Diane had an idea. I like to troll government auctions, so we got a bunch of lumber at a government auction. It's like, what am I going to do with all this 2x6 tongue and groove?
Oh,
And,
well.
so she had this idea to do an accent wall. So in the bedroom, one of the accent walls is this reclaimed lumber, and the Wilson brothers, they sanded it down and stained it brown, and it really came out nice.
Well, the two of you together make a really good team.
Yeah, yeah.
And
So
how many children have you together?
as far as like our own, we have three. We have 2 sons and a daughter, and 2 grandchildren.
Now, what is your
3
daughter up to
granddoggies.
these days?
What's that?
What's your daughter up to these days?
She just finished at Clatsop with honors, and she's gonna go to Seattle Pacific in the fall.
Great school.
Yeah, so she
Can't
headed
do-
down to Seattle Pacific or Temple University in Japan. And
I
she
think having her near home is a good thing.
It is, although she was in Japan for a year and a half and loved it. So
Right,
It
right.
was just a matter of where you get more scholarship and, where it all comes down.
But she's
And Temple, the time you had to apply for financial aid was already passed. It just all kind of took care of itself, leading her to Seattle Pacific.
well, as a former Seattleite, I loved SPU. I worked for Fuller Seminary, which is next door to SPU. The only problem with SPU are the hills you have to walk.
My cousin graduated from Fuller.
Yeah, I loved SPU. It has great programs.
Yeah, I
Great
went
programs.
there. I graduated from SPU. So did both our sons. And I thought, well, I guess it just won't be for Abigail. And then here she is. So I guess it's just.
It's going to
how
be a
it is.
family.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to have the
I
SPU
guess.
license plates
Yeah.
eventually, right? Like all the Cougars do.
Right.
Well, what is it, in addition to the farm, that comes from the Sari family, correct? No. See?
Or the Simca, yeah. That's why I brought her. So the Simca side, yeah, her grandparents
the
bought it
Simicas.
100 years ago.
And
On
you're
the
having-
steps of the courthouse.
So the 100th party on Sunday afternoon
Yeah.
is for the Simica side? Mm-hmm. Okay. How many Simicas are left here?
Well, Alfred's next door, and then his kids, and what do you got, Dan?
Cousins.
Cousins. And
Big party.
Alfred, her uncle, still alive and kicking, mows his own lawn, drives to get his mail. And he's sharp as a tack.
Well, there's quite a few of them around here that are like that. Not like Rodney. Rodney, like I told you, he said you spelled my name wrong, so I'm not going to talk to you for a while. Well, he didn't really mean it, but it was a shock. But he said, you're going to have to wait a few more weeks. But I asked him for a ride in his new car. I'm not
Oh,
sure
what did he
exactly.
get?
Oh, he got an old, I think it's a Chevy, an old like 50s.
Oh, a new old car.
A new old car, renovated, black. It's just cute as can be. And his friend Larry, Larry Kelly, I think is his last name. Yeah, his friend Larry calls him up and says, "Come on, let's go to the archive center and then go for a ride in your car." So he's, he's doing well.
Dad's grandfather that bought our farm back in the 20s. That's what he would do. He never had a car. So
Really?
He would just kind of get rides with somebody going to the store, going to town. I suppose it would have been South Bend back
My
then.
grandmother did the same thing on Sunday morning. We went to Noble Street Methodist Church all the years I lived with her. And there was always this nice family who would pick us up. And I, being me, I wanted to bring Herc, my dog, to church. And I was probably 5 years old, whatever. And I said, but I want to take Herc to Sunday school. And so the man said, well, I'll sit with Herc. His name was Herc. And he did, the driver of the car. He'd bring the dog in when we had, pre-Sunday school when everybody sat and sang Jesus songs. But I'll be 77 this year. And I have aged terribly since I had cancer. And I've been as far as I know, cancer-free for 4 or 5 years now. And
That's not really age, that's just the toll of recovery.
well, I'm in remission.
Right.
Yeah. So, but I get mad at myself because I can't do what I used to do. I'm not as strong as I used to be, and
So you're doing pretty good.
well, my brain, you'll catch me. My brain forgets where I started. The freeway that goes back and forth in my brain, it had a landslide, so it doesn't connect so much more, and I cannot remember names for anything. So I just live with it, and I make all kinds of mistakes in the paper, but nobody else wants the job. So that's what I
Conveying the ideas.
yeah, and let's see, I'm scratching my bee sting. The main thing for me that I've always been wondering about with you was how did you get into teaching? Did you just want to teach and
Well, my mom taught school. My dad was, my mom and dad got married when she was a teacher, and she was teaching in Idaho on an emergency certificate. Back then, you could teach, 2 years of college, and they needed teachers so bad, it's like they put you in the classroom.
and you can even get married.
Yeah, that was it. And then she got married, and then she had to quit. But anyway, they were in the.
Isn't that just
crazy.
indicative of the
Yes,
feelings
yeah.
toward number one is stay at home with the family. It put a lot of pressure on men. They had to have a job that would support their family so their
Yeah.
wife could be home.
I suppose, and my dad had one of those. He was a welding inspector at Larson.
Oh, that would
Moses
be
Lake. Yeah.
that would be
It
good.
was $13 an hour in 1965. Was pretty good money.
Oh, well, in 1965, I made, if I was lucky, working at the Gold Bond stamp store. When we used to get stamps, I don't know if you remember that, but
Now I remember S&H green stamps.
and that was it. I was at the green stamp store in Fort Worth.
I'll be.
And going to college, and I'd go have my classes, then go to the stamp store. But what was I going to say about that?
Oh, you were asking about my parents.
Oh, that's right. So, all to say that education, when I was in college, education and teaching was really high end. You had an education, you knew what you were doing, you were good with kids, etc. But now it's like the pay is just people.
Yeah, it was.
It's not doesn't seem to be as respectful.
Yeah. So, Mom, when my dad was killed by a drunk driver when I was 8 months old. he was
Oh,
on his
you're
way to-
kidding!
No,
I mean, you're not kidding. That's terrible.
Yeah, he was on his way to work. There was 3 guys going to work. They carpooled, and somebody was coming home after their bachelor party. So they were getting married that day. The guy was getting married that day and been partying all night and passed on a hill, and they hit at the top of the hill, and they all died. So here this girl's getting married that day, and her husband to be dead, and all 3 men they all had wives and kids, and they all got killed. It was just tragic. So Mom kind of she was like 23, and then and an 8-month-old, and now what? So she goes back to school. She had to go back, of course, living in Washington. You had to have 4 years, and then you're raising a kid and all that. And so anyway, somehow or another, she managed to grind it out. And when I was in 2nd grade, she had her teaching degree and went to teach in Kelso schools. And she piloted open court reading program there. And she ended up a principal in a Christian school after she retired. So she had I think she had 26 years in education, and then went on to being the principal at the Christian school for a while. So I kind of had this, and my grandmother taught Sunday school, which I always thought, oh well, Sunday school teacher. And
No
then,
big deal.
well, Diane and I, of course, after all our parents died last year, within 7 months, it was just like, oh my word, and we ended up with all this memorabilia in our garage. We still can't park in the garage, so we just ended up with all this stuff, and some of it I looked through it, and I found a birthday card to my grandmother that her Sunday school class had sent. And this was a tiny little church. I mean, if you think probably like the Grays River Methodist Church, it's tiny little
Church.
smaller even. And I looked and I read, and there were 23 people signed that card. And I actually remember, and I'm like, wow, that's a thriving Sunday school class for this tiny little church. I was like, what in the world? There must have been more people in her Sunday school class. They must have left before the morning service, because I remember the morning services. I don't know if there was that many people in them. So I thought, wow. So I guess the teaching thing's kind of in the blood, but undoubtedly, had my dad lived, I wouldn't have been a teacher, because I mean he was a welder and he wanted to put in mobile home parks. He was pretty entrepreneurial, and I like to, you know, do that kind of stuff. So I'm sure. But you know, you grow up in a home and you see a steady income. You don't make a lot of money, but it's
Right.
steady,
It
and
is
you're
steady.
there for your family.
It's
you know,
reliable.
the hours are family friendly, and so it was a good career. And then, you know, I was figure the Lord takes care of me. The job just, you know, how He does it. If somehow the job wasn't there, He'd take care of me a different way. As
Right.
long as you're willing to work. I mean, you can't just
Yeah,
sit there
exactly.
and wait for the paycheck to come in the mail. But so we never, you know, we never went without. Did just fine on a teacher's salary, and Diane stayed at home with the kids. And then we did other stuff on the side. We'd flip houses and you'd have a rental property or whatever.
And run
you
the
know.
farm.
Yeah, but you have the summer. You know, as a teacher, that's one good thing too. I actually came down and taught at the youth camp with Phil Rustica back in the day. So that was way
I
back.
loved Phil. I
Yeah,
loved him.
and night school was the dream because we'd fish in the day and, you know, make a little money at night. It was like a good gig.
Well, and it was healthy.
Yeah, yeah,
And
and
it
she
was-
got to spend time with her parents, and the kids were down here with Grandma and Grandpa. Yeah, it was good.
So all of your parents have passed,
yeah,
and you said it was just.
yeah, within 7 months. It was
That's
just
kind of like the Burkhalters with Bob
Right.
and Ted.
Yeah, it was quite a year, and then that was all during COVID, not due to COVID, but just happened to be during that time and limited visitation. I think it really took a toll on emotionally on older folks, you know.
Oh, it was very hard on us. I had a new life, so to speak. Just
So mom was in a care facility at that point. She was with us part of the time. We'd built onto our house, built a mother-in-law apartment thing, and the Wilson brothers did that too. Wow, those guys know how to build.
where are the Wilson brothers from?
Tim and Rex, they're right in town. And well, Rex lives at the beach, but Tim lives in town here. Yeah, they're fantastic.
There are some good times.
Probably don't hear them because they don't advertise. They don't have to.
Oh, it's like
Just-
Tim Steiner, is that right?
Right.
Right. I mean, he renovated my little guest bathroom, did a great job, but I have a terrible time with his last name. Memory thing.
Just
Yeah.
Tim.
It's just Tim. Yeah.
Tim works.
Yeah.
So, yeah, anyway, yeah. So, but during that COVID time, you know, the only time people could leave the care facilities if they had an appointment.
Oh,
So mom had a lot of appointments. She had 3 or 4 a week. It was with a care facility called Dairy Queen.
and she was one of the queens.
Yeah, that's right. But you know, she didn't leave the car. I was going to see her anyway. What's the difference?
yeah,
So you know,
yeah.
we went and got her little kid cone dipped in chocolate, or just
You know,
a plain old kid
she
cone.
didn't mean it, but I do it badly. She had a really nice gig there because other people, their family had to stand outside the window and be outside, you know,
Right.
just wave to her. But you got to physically be there and give her a
I
hug.
did, and you know, we didn't take unnecessary risks. We wouldn't go in. We just go to the drive-in, and you know, it was all good. I mean, what's the difference if I'm right there talking to her, or if we're in a car? So it was all good. Yeah.
Which church did she? What did you grow up in? Assembly of God?
Yeah. Kelso First Assembly of God most of the time when we lived in Kelso, and then Diane and I both grew up, you know, in the same faith family, so it's pretty simple. Having a family and not disagreeing on the, you know, fundamental thing.
Well, you have quite an active youth program there, don't you?
Oh my goodness, they had 21 at the summer camp just for the middle school. I don't know how many they took to high school, but that's a lot of
That's
middle
probably
school
the
kids.
bulk of the kids.
And the youth pastor said at church this Sunday, he says that they had 21 kids at youth camp and no drama. You know, that's a miracle.
That's a big miracle.
You got the Red Sea, you know, the feed the 5,000 and 21
Oh, yeah.
kids not fighting. Those are 3 big ones. But yeah, I guess they
Right.
had a great time at camp.
But this is a great place to have, to raise kids. I mean,
Right.
to have kids that can get outside, go fishing. I love the kids that ride their bikes back and forth with their fishing poles, you know. I think that is so typical.
Our oldest son, Garrick, he went fishing yesterday, and we watched Arya, the grandbaby, and he got the surf perch. Yeah, so he had a ball doing that. So, yeah, lots of opportunities in trout and salmon are on right now.
And they're evidently doing pretty well this year.
Yeah,
Certainly in Bristol Bay they are.
I went to Neah Bay and went halibut fishing, and we caught some salmon. But it was,
Now, halibut is my favorite fish.
oh man,
You know, I lived in Alaska just shy of 20 years, and you just get in the boat, any kind of a boat, and go out and stick something in the water. It doesn't matter if it has to go way down, and then all of a sudden, you know, the fish is dragging the boat.
right?
It's that big. Halibut used to be huge. I mean, it probably still is, but then, and it's easy to debone because it's right down the middle,
Right.
and you know, so you get this wonderful non-bone
Great
meat,
fillet, yeah.
and you can cook it anyway, and it always tastes good, you know. And my heart takes a beat anymore when I see the price of
Oh.
most any fish. You're going to start around $10, and then from that you could go up to. I saw an ad on Facebook for Copper River salmon. It's like $50 a pound.
Oh, my goodness.
And it's just a river. The
Right.
the salmon are the same, but Copper
It's
River.
kind of a branding thing.
It very much so.
We we love we're blessed to have them swim right on up the farm. We have a half a mile of river frontage on the
I
farm.
know. Speaking of that, I have a question for you. I went and you gave me a tour of your farm years ago, and you were telling me about the Japanese knotweed was right on the edge of the river, and the cows ate it.
So cows love it.
Well, now, so
Of course, you
Andy Lee, who is our noxious weed person for Wahkiakum County, told me that, well, I'm not too happy about, you know, cows eating it. I know they eat it, but it makes it spread. Is that true? You've
Well,
got-
I doubt it. I mean, if they're on it all the time, it never goes to seed. But I wouldn't know. I mean,
That's prob-
cows' digestive system and what it does
They'll
to
eat most anything.
plant life, I don't know. That's out of my wheelhouse. But
But if they
I
like,
don't let mine get to it because we have a buffer, a crop barrier between
Watering.
our pastures and the river, so which we planted a couple thousand trees, and so we
oh,
don't-
I remember that.
yeah, so we don't let them go down into the river or anything anyway. So we just have to. The county does a good job if the landowner's cooperative of keeping it under control and spraying it or inoculating it. They have to inject it, I guess.
Well, the injection works. It's very
Yeah.
tedious. You have to have
Yeah.
the gun, and you go one by one by
Right.
one.
But
And
if they stay on top of it, it works. They've done a good job. I have one little area kind of coming back. We'll have to have them get, but yeah.
well, I would talk Tony. Tony bought Phil Zer's property in Grays River, and it's 200 some acres.
It's a good chunk.
Yeah, if you use it well. Anyway, Phil never had anything done with his thistle.
Oh, Grays
So-
River has a thistle problem. I have to stay on top of it. I'll tell you, it's like mow.
Well, Tony wants to go organic,
Right.
so he won't have anybody come spray it or anything like that. So it was pretty
You
rampant.
gotta mow it.
If well, one person said you could get a bunch of kids to come and just chop off the heads with scissors or whatever, and that'll do it. But that seems, again, tedious. So, but there's a lot
Well,
of thistle on that property.
Good luck finding kids willing to walk around with scissors cutting thistle. But
That might not be a good idea anyway.
yeah, if you don't want, there's a couple options. I mean, if it's just truly an outbreak and you can't get it under control, you can find the least invasive spray you've got, and then you're gonna have to wait 3 years before
Right,
it's organic.
right.
But I mean, that might be if it's really bad what he has to do, and then maintain it with mowing after that.
Well,
if you mow, you just can't let the seed heads form.
Right,
You
they
know,
land on my
if you
yard.
catch them when they're purple and mow them, if you catch them early enough, they won't continue to mature and seed out. But if you wait until you can see the white seed, even if you mow it,
Well,
you lost it.
Andy taught me, here I have a yard with these great big tall dandelions. Well, they're not dandelions, they're yellow thistle.
Well, if they're yellow, it's tansy probably.
Well, he told me that they were, that's what he told me. He's the,
Real tall, growing a bunch.
no, not
Okay.
not the bunch. There'll be one by one, and I thought they were and I had made a commitment to myself to let the dandelions go because they're yellow and they're kind of pretty on my
Oh,
bank.
is it just a little green stem with the little?
The same dandelion leaves.
Oh, well, that.
And so it was really hard to tell them apart. But Andy said, "You see that line up there, your nice tall plants right there?" And I said, "That's thistle." So if you don't, I hate that word even. The thistle's from Phil Zer's property, and now Tony's property just covers my lawn.
Yeah, and when it floods, it just seeds the whole valley.
It seeds the whole valley.
Yeah, it's really not. If you're going to be a good neighbor, you got to keep your weeds under
So,
control.
so how long have you two had the farm?
20 years going on, right? Yeah, next year will be 20. It is
Getting ready
cool.
for FinFest this year.
Yeah.
Are you involved, you two? Oh, but you got the
Well, we have
100-year party.
100-year party at the farm, and then Diane's doing registration booth, I think, aren't you?
Kids room.
Kids room?
That's one.
Oh, that's right. We
So
have
what are you
cardboard
doing,
all in
Dad?
the garage. I'm gonna just have the farm ready for our party, and other than that, I'm not gonna even barbecue. I think our boys will probably get reeled in for that.
Well, it's handy having adult children.
Yeah, we wanna
I've heard
be
that.
free to visit with our guests. So.
And some of them are coming from far away.
Yeah, Finland's a long ways.
Finland is a long ways, yeah. So, do you ever feel drawn to move to Finland or anything like that? I'm sure you must have visited.
Diane would be the one to ask there.
Clearly, she's the boss.
Well, she's the Finn blood. I'm the Dane, the Mutt, German and English and everything else. So
You're a Dane, huh?
yeah, Dane, Finn, German.
A little bit of
Not-
everything.
I had, yeah, English side goes way back in the U.S. The Scandinavian side's pretty recent. The England side goes all the way back to Pilgrims.
My English background goes back to a lord or an earl or something who went penniless and came to the U.S. to be able to support his family.
Wow.
And then his son was a drummer boy in the Revolutionary War. So that's how my grandmother got into the
My
DAR.
great, I don't remember how many great, sixth grade uncle was George Washington's lifeguard, which would be like special kind of Secret Service.
Secret
kinda
Service,
like under,
original.
Yeah, back in the day.
That was probably a fairly rare job.
Got to visit his grave last summer in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. Big Daughters of the American Revolution, big, monument for him.
My
there.
grandmother was a very loyal DAR member, and she had all the family genealogy, and so she made copies and sent it to me and said, "Now I want you to become a member of the DAR." So following her directive, not too many years ago, I started to look into it. Oh my God, what you had to go through! I mean, forget the genealogy papers, and you had to prove you're a U.S. citizen, and you had to. I mean, you might as well started the day you were born. And I said, and then there was a fee to it, of course.
Right.
But I thought, I'd rather be a daughter of Texas, because that to me is much more interesting history. That was a big thing for me. I moved when I was 11, 12 from Indiana to Fort Worth, and I just adored Texas history. There's so much just great horses, and then you've
was
got
a republic.
whatever's public. That's right. Except
It still is if you talk to the right Texan.
talk to the right
Yeah.
Texan, and there really were Six Flags over Texas, kind of like California. Who owns it today?
Right.
Texas is the same way. So you enjoyed teaching, obviously.
Yeah, I enjoyed all of it,
You like the fourth graders best?
I just kind of enjoy what I'm doing at the time. So, looking back, I don't know that there's like this stellar period I liked so much better than anything else. I just like wherever you land and you do your best and enjoy where you're at. And then when something else happens, you just enjoy that.
So you never thought of being a pastor? You probably would have enjoyed doing that too.
I'm sure, yeah.
So,
I wouldn't say I'm called to do it. I mean, it's not about, you have to be called.
well, I doubt you were called to renovate houses, but
Well, maybe that's true. too.
there's got to be times when you have to think about the pocketbook, I suppose. Yeah. Things like that. So, at the youth camp, you did that. You were superintendent here or at youth camp?
Here, and then principal at the youth camp. So the superintendent's over the district. So at that point, you're over all the district employees.
Right. So what do you think about the youth camp changing? and closing?
Well, it's just amazing. It lasted as long as it did with the
I've heard that said.
powers that be at the state level, just doing everything they could to sabotage and take it down. And so it just shows the fortitude of a whole lot of people that have, that were able to
Well, I
stay
think-
at as long as they did.
I've talked with the man that I call my contact in Olympia, and he says he really does sense that it's going to turn into the CISPAS program.
Oh,
And I rather like that idea, but I don't say it too often.
no, it's an asset. I mean, it's a beautiful.
Well, we still
property.
have jobs.
Yeah.
But the big rumor around, I don't know if you've heard it or not, is that they're going to take down the housing units. I have a hard time believing that. We're so low on housing.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But I don't know. I don't know how the whole CISPAS thing works.
I
But
know if you go in Longview on the, it'd be near the mills where the smaller houses are. You know, the Longview is very much a planned
little
city.
logging-
The little lots, little houses for
little
the
ca-
workers,
the-
and as you get,
the loggers'
onto
cabins.
Mortgage Row by the lake, there's the big house.
Yeah, mortgage
That's
circle.
what they called it. Yeah, and
It's the trees.
so there are some housing units that they barged up. This is just like memory. It may be wrong, but I remember from years ago here, and they barged some up from Tongue Point. And so, you know, that could be potential to, they might move them somewhere else for housing or so short on housing, but who knows?
I have a hard time with, and I've expressed this, you know me. I have a hard time with the fact that the state has done this without including the school board, without real. Lisa has no
Right.
real contact from. She was on the phone the other day. She told us at the school board meeting the other night, and she said, "Could you keep me in the loop?" you know.
Well, if you think about if you're at the state level and you have an agenda that you want to accomplish, you're not going to really try and include somebody who's going to be opposed to your ideas. You
You're
just
absolutely
kind of
right. You're right.
negate them and do the best you can to circumvent them in any way. You know.
Well,
So she's
it-
kind of had to fly in the dark on this thing.
Oh, she has. She has.
And she's a fighter, but you know,
She is a fighter, that's
at
for
that
sure.
point.
We've had quite a winter. I have not regularly gone in the past to school board meetings. You know, no children in the school, and Rick asked me to go ahead and report on school board meetings, and I said okay, and then ended up coming in right in October when there was a group coming in and big heavy questions, and I don't think the board was quite prepared for the questions
Right.
or ready to give an answer at that moment. So it's been a tough few months, and Lisa
It's
has
been a tough couple of years with COVID and just all the.
that's totally
wow,
the truth.
It's just a lot.
Totally. And we have new people moving in. Last year, people buying property and houses at
Right.
tremendous prices. We have another farm down the road, 65 acres, that's for sale for $1.2 million.
Yeah.
And but it has the hangar and the strip for planes, or little airplanes. So somebody may come in and buy it, but not this year. Probably not going to sell too much this year.
Well, I just talked to somebody the other day that sold yesterday that had a cash buyer come in. So, I mean, I know the financing has tightened up with the
Right.
interest rates about doubling, but there are still some cash buyers out there too. But yeah, as far as anybody getting that loan, I mean, shoot, you look at what your house payment would be. All of a sudden,
Oh,
you could,
Lord.
if your job was such that you could afford a $500,000 house 3 months ago, now you're looking at a $350,000 house
Yeah,
with the same
yeah,
payment. So
yeah,
it's
yeah.
gonna at some point make an
It's got to
impact.
level out sometime.
But yet, if it doesn't, how in the world is anybody ever going to get started? I mean, it's just
Well, I don't-
gotten out of control.
I don't think there's. I mean, the other piece is I'm thrilled to hear about your level for rent.
Yeah.
Because it's just a regular. I could get really nice money renting my 3-bedroom house,
Right.
two bathrooms.
Oh, we
not-
could get more too, but it's
But-
like you have a certain amount that you should make as an
Yep.
investor, or it isn't a good investment. It has to be sustainable.
Right.
And then on the other hand, you don't want to gouge people, so you just
Especially
do the
the-
best you can do and still make a reasonable return.
Yeah, I really appreciate you guys thinking of that, and I hope you'll build some more. If
Well,
you-
actually, right now we're working on a little mobile home park that our folks had, so that's kind of
Where's it at?
on Napton.
Oh, on Napton.
There were it had been her Diane's grandparents. That was the sorry side. just to
The
keep it-
sorry
yeah,
side.
Yeah. And
Not
in fact, the
O-R-R-Y.
whole Finn thing, and they're both start with S, and so this is a total side note, but our root cellar that her uncle built back in 1935,
Yeah.
it scratched his initials in the entrance, MS, 1935. So the Simica farm, we always figured it was her uncle Matt Simica, and so we're like, oh, Matt built that. Turns out it was her uncle Matt Sorry that built that because they were friends. So it's like, oh my goodness, it's still and it's still all tangled up in the valley today. You know,
And
you have to marry outside the valley, so you don't have to have kids.
I lived next to Torpa's and worked for Bob in the shop for 10 years. And when I say, well, he wanted to make his big driveway a county road. And they said, no, thank you. No, that we'd have to maintain it. Oh, okay. But I said, well, you could call it Torpa Lane or whatever. No, those are different Torpas in Naselle. And that just gets...
Well, if you call it Torpa Place, its initials would be TP. But it's just an idea. So anyway, yeah, the mobile park was her grandfather had it. And it had single wides back in the day, just a small.
And now is that the one that as you go south on Napton, it's on the left-hand side?
Right. Well, then it kind of devolved into RVs when all the mobile homes just either got so worn out they tore them down or whatever. And it really is a mobile home park.
I wondered what that was about.
Yeah,
I thought somebody knows friends with a lot of RVs.
We don't kick anybody out, but it should be mobile homes there, and so. As people have moved, we just, we're not.
Could a tiny home go in there?
Actually, we just bought one the day before yesterday. There'd be a
tiny
really
home?
cute, a park model. So, which is really like just a single wide mobile home, and then we bought 2 single wides to put there, and then somebody will be able to just buy them. We won't get delivery till October and November, but they're brand new, really nice little. So as far as the housing thing, we're still working on it.
I want a tiny home.
Oh, it's adorable. There's just but it's just nice little. Kitchen.
Oh yeah.
Little dining area, computer area, laundry, washer dryer hookups, and then a bedroom in the back with a nice sized bath. I mean, it's just cute.
So like the one at Vista Park that they used as an office.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but yeah.
Oh,
I'm
it's
sure.
cute as a bug.
Like...
I lust over that thing. When I first saw it, I said I hadn't heard about it.
Don't drool down the side of the car when you're going by. Just ask to look.
And when I went to help them with a grant, and I'm like, oh my God. And Janet Bryan was working there. She was the manager at that time. And I was so impressed with that. And Karen Gilbertson was just, come Karen, you have to see it. And I said, I could live in this. This is great.
They're cute. It's just
one
nice.
level. You could build on, if you set it.
We'll put a shed with it. So, because, I don't want clutter around. So it's like, if you're going to ask people not to have clutter, then you need to give them a place to put their stuff, right?
That gets to be a problem in mobile home parks.
It is. So that
you can.
That we're going to be pretty strict on. I don't want.
You can see that in Arizona and Florida.
We'll provide a shed, and that's where it goes. And then it's nice. We don't want to own the homes. We'll sell those and just rent them the space. So
just like a boat,
great.
like a boat in the marina.
Right.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, since do want things to look a certain way, then it makes more sense for us to buy it, set it all up so it's very nice. And
so is it legally set up for a mobile home?
Yeah, it's a licensed mobile home park with the
state. Oh, be darned.
Yeah.
What other interesting pieces do you have?
Well, that's enough for now.
I keep dreaming of putting the wheels back on my manufactured home, and somebody takes it out, and then I put a smaller tiny home on it. I've still got my garden. I'm still right next to the road.
Well, that's not a bad idea.
And just get rid of
most people downsize by moving. You're just like,
I don't want to leave my garden.
Right.
I have about 18 years in that garden.
I'll tell you, those tiny homes are cute.
It's
just like
I'd be all set up with the water and the septic tank and everything. I just get rid of the big one.
Your septic tank would be way more than adequate. It'd be going smaller.
Well, I already have a great big one because it used to be the Nelson's house, Howard Nelson, and they had all their grandkids for, like you're doing for your big party.
The single wides that we got, they're just a nice little, they're kind of like a tiny home, they're just a little bigger. But they have a 7-year warranty, bumper to bumper, so it's like if any appliance or anything goes out,
I'd be 84 by then, so who knows whether I'd make it or not.
If you don't, you won't care. No, you're kicking along.
Yeah,
Doing just fine.
the minute I walked in that house, and all I did was walk in the kitchen till like 8:15 in the morning. That's when
Sun coming
Lori
in.
Finoni Scott took me in there, and that was it. I saw the view from the window of the valley, and I knew it was much bigger than my sailboat had been that I'd been living in for 10 years. And I said, oh my God, I'll never use this much room. And I don't. It's so easy to live in a small house because you never go shopping.
If you don't have a lot of stuff. I
Well,
mean, if you can scale back your stuff.
Well, I found out when I lived on my boat, I really didn't need a lot of clothes.
Right.
I really didn't need all the kitchen stuff, I mean, I had my little barbecue on the railing out on the stern, and it was just piece of cake to
little
live.
stainless job, the round one.
Yeah, yeah, those
are
are great.
Yeah.
They're perfect for someone alone. And then I had all these big pots of geraniums on the stern, and I had to take them off every time I took the boat out, but it was no big deal.
And it was moored where?
Shiltrel
Oh,
in
nice.
Ballard.
That's great.
But I couldn't do it now because they won't accept any boats under 40 feet, and mine was 32.
Oh, for crying out
I
loud.
had a very nice Swedish boat.
The gentrification of moorage.
Oh,
I mean,
it's-
what in the world?
and no more liveaboards. I was the liveaboard captain for my dock, P dock, and what I got for being the liveaboard captain was a discount on my mortgage, which was really nice. This man can talk for another hour, but I can't.
But I don't need to. So
You don't need to. You got something to do on the farm, right?
I actually have a guy from USDA coming. We're going to go through the crop thing at noon. So
So we don't have. What was the name of the guy that used to be the USDA man that came here? Started with B or something.
you know, the last gal, it was Courtney, but I don't know who.
I hate it.
And this guy's name, I don't even remember it off the top of my head. I'll look at Alex maybe, but anyway, he's coming from the office in Centralia.
Oh,
Haley.
our guy came, the USDA guy who did loans.
Yeah, that's a whole different. This is like the
He's-
agricultural side
Yeah.
of it.
Oh, yeah. You're the farmer.
Yeah.
Yeah. The guy that came for Vista Park, because they had a loan for sewer, I guess, and that was quite a process to be part of that. And Kayreen was a commissioner at that time, and she would pull me into things, and I just,
Yeah.
oh God, I just Bruce. He came to
Oh.
me. See, it took a minute.
I remember the loan applications when you were going through it and everything.
They're really easy.
Yeah.
You
and
can get $5,000
I
just.
wonder what the rates
signing.
are. I'm sure they've gone up. The Fed
Well,
rate's going up.
I think it depends on your situation, and they have so many different kinds of loans, and some of them are so irrational. Seriously, like you want a TP on the back of your property so that you can keep your goats in it. Fine,
Oh, thistle. Sheep will eat thistle. I hate even mentioning sheep. The cattle farmers will kill me for mentioning sheep.
Well, I
coming in.
wonder about
But sheep will eat thistle.
What about alpaca?
I don't think they'll ever graze it intentionally, but you can force graze. Sheep will eat it, and it doesn't hurt them.
Well,
Cattle don't want to eat it, but the sheep will.
Tony has alpacas and goats.
I'm sure goats would probably eat it.
Goats
I
would
don't know.
probably eat it. I should ask him to move some of them over into.
I don't like spraying of anything either. I try and do it all with mowing, which is a lot more work and time, but
it
better.
works.
Yeah.
Like with blackberries, you mow them
And
enough.
it clips everything and just keeps things looking beautiful,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. It just amazes me. Bob has taken his raceway that he's had for several years because he sold his four wheel, whatever they are,
Oh.
the big things, and now he's got the. They're kind of like a 4-wheel, but they're more utility.
side by side.
He sold side by sides,
Oh.
and now he's got what Joel Fitz drives, a little thing that's kind of a work thing. Hank Nelson would
gator.
herd his cows, a gator kind of thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah.
a military gator, an old military surplus gator.
Yeah, so I'd like to have one now. Be perfect for me.
Found Diane one. She's got her own gator, side by side, not a gator. But
Side by side, your kids play with, I bet, especially the adult ones.
I've got a little fire engine for that. It's like it's made out of a riding lawnmower, a little fire engine with a dump bed. It's kind of cute.
You have fun with this life.
Yeah.
I
right.
I think as I hear you talk, I my image is of your lovely faith that just trusts that God's going to take care of you,
Right.
and you don't need to worry. You need to be doing good works.
Right. The rest will take care of itself.
Good role model for young people, don't you think?
Yeah.
No, don't worry. Be happy. I love that song. Be happy. All will be well. God will come back. He will take care of us. And for those of you who do not believe, I want to encourage you to give it a thought. So this has been a wonderful hour spent with very nice people, and I'm very grateful that you came.
Wow.
And your input.
Thanks for the
has been-
invite and
You
get
bet.
some meat tenderizer on that sting.
Yeah, there it is. Can
Don't
you see
scratch
it?
it. It'll just spread the histamine.
Can you see it?
I can, yeah.
It's right above my finger.
Yeah.
It was twice that yesterday, and I couldn't
Well.
sleep on this side.
If you scratch it, it keeps the histamine going, and
Oh,
you can
yeah.
just put that. If you put a Band-Aid with that paste on there, and you
Yeah.
can't scratch it.
Well, that takes the right brain connecting to the left brain.
Well,
saying
I
whatever.
say that because I have a hard time.
But I've done
scratching
well
it,
this
too.
hour. It's probably you.
Doing better.
You helped me. Sometimes I just go blah, 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 and nobody understands what I'm saying, and neither do I, because it's just not working.
Oh well, it all worked. Just
But
you're
that's what-
firing on all your pistons today.
I'm firing all my pistons. Well, blessings on both you
Yeah.
and the
thanks.
whole family. Okay.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for coming today.
Okay.
And I know that if I have more questions, I just might be able to call you up and ask
Okay.
them.
All right. Thanks.